Here we have a study group of 6 German bone chess sets. They're all 19th century, but they range in style from the 17th century Silenus up to the 19th century Stoughton pattern. And we will be able to see, when we look at these sets, some of the things that the turners and designers of these sets had to contend with, even if we don't know who actually designed them. The first set in this very nice, typical number 1 box with the slide top, and the German boxes slid this way. If it is English or French, it would slide this way, the top slide across the wide part. And here we have it, a very nice looking Silenus set. Now, charming looking thing, very delicate, and with the typical, fairly simply carved knights, typical of the German sets. And this was named after this fellow, Gustavus the Younger. Silenus called himself. He was also the Duke of Brunswick, and here he is playing chess at a table with a set where it's clearly drawn so that you can see what the pieces look like. And all these style of sets from that painting of 1616, they've all been called Silenus. And the constraints upon the turners and designers to make something out of the bones of a small food animal like a sheep, for example, makes a big difference to just exactly what you can do with the set, and I'll come to that later about the how one gets to make sets in that way. That's really a very charming set, and again in a similar sort of manner, another set. This is the Munich spindle set, and again it has the thinness of the stem, the delicacy of the shape of the pieces has to do with the wall thickness of the material they were using. They were limited to what they could produce, and this is one way of solving some of the problems. It has a rather nice looking bishop at the top like that, not dissimilar to the bishops in this set, so you can see actual fact they're pretty similar. So you can see there was a theme going along with the design of these chess pieces. Again, nothing other than spindle turning really on this set. A little bit of carving on the knights, but very nicely done, and a delicate and pretty looking set. Black and white or brown and white, fairly common, as was the normal red and white that we see. And here we have a German set with a fairly attractive looking pepper pot rooks with using the hollow part of the leg bone, and the rest of it, you can see the rest of it's from the side wall and the side of the bone. Again, a fairly simply turned knight's head, nothing very complicated there, but these do remind me of salt and pepper. You see the similarity there, very pretty little bit of decoration on it. There's the king there. I'm going to put that out to remind me later. Again, simple enough little set for play. Certainly wouldn't have been thought of as being put up in the living room for decoration, I don't think. Certainly that set would have been more for play. Let me just take the king out of here. There we are. Put that king up there. And here we are coming through the 19th century. Similar in style, but with the solid bodies for the pieces. The royals haven't got the hollow form, and the rook design has had to be adapted so that it could be made out of the solid portion of the bone. And interestingly on this, the knights are just an outline, flat, almost flat on each side, and just a sawn out outline with an eye and a little bit of a mane put on. Very interesting and simple way to solve the problem of carving knights on what would have been a relatively inexpensive set. Again, pretty enough for display and play. Certainly not really robust enough for taking down taken down to the pub and playing with, but one supposes they were used mostly for indoor work, and we're seeing this look similar to the other European bishops coming in. So this is probably a bit later in the 19th century. Put the king up there. And now we come on to the later part, very much of the 19th century, and even going through possibly into the 20th century. But certainly we have here a copy of a Staunton pattern set, the set designed by Nathaniel Cook for John Jakes, we think, in 1849, and then fairly quickly copied by other people once the design became popular. Quite a well carved knight, fairly aggressive looking fellow, but then he is going into battle. But quite well carved, and it's a fairly handsome looking set. We have it's from by Uhlig, German firm of Uhlig, and there's their page from their catalogue showing the Staunton form set, they call it. They also made French Regence type sets, and this set is better than what's on this page. There'll be another page with this particular set on. They made a great variety of sets, and there we have it, red and white, nicely felted, good colour. The colours lasted very well. They certainly knew how to make the bone take the stain. Nice clean set, good for play. You could take it to a congress and play with it today, I guess, and nobody would complain. And we have the affectionately called Ugly Uhlig by the same firm, and really, let me take the king out of here. There we are, put that on there. And we have this small set in bone, and the form of the knights is somewhat pugnacious, I think, but a cheery looking fellow nonetheless for all his faults. And we have little rooks come unscrewed here. Sometimes when you open these sets up you find them come to bits. Well, that's only because it's come unscrewed. There's a screw thread there. Six goes on, there we are. So, really what can we say about this? It's lost some of its colour, that's not unusual. That's a fairly typical truncated cross that these sets often had. But it would have been a fairly popular set for children in Germany, I would think. This is the sort of thing that they would be given to use. And what I want to show you just now is I've kept the kings out, because here we are. You can see not only the differences but also the similarities of where the turners were solving the problems. This set, for example, this Solanus king, made from 6 or 7 different pieces. This piece is made from 2 because it's got an insert in there that would just be the leg bone, and this is the stem of it. So you've got the base made from the side wall, then the screw thread to make to give us an object which will stand up reasonably well. Something in the middle, a form in the middle to an open form in the middle, in this case pierced open form, very typical, to give it some sort of shape, and then a finial on top to indicate what piece it is. We don't particularly recognise this as being a king in a chess set nowadays, but of course in those days that would have been instantly recognisable with the stylised feather finial. And a similar finial which unscrews on this spindle set. You know, you could pretty well change the centre spindles out and the bases, except of course that the threads were all made individually, so that they you wouldn't be able to swap these sets about like that in reality. So doing a similar, same thing here, base and stem all unscrew. That's a little bit stiff. Body part made in 3. Top goes in, so not dissimilar to this, except that this is almost a hollow form, and this gives the impression of solidarity. Quite often these sets are thought to be made of ivory, but a quick look will tell you that the bone. Similar idea again here, but with the smaller body, so that it could be made out of the side wall of the bone. And then we come on to the Uhlig more modern design, the Staunton design, and this would have caused some problems for the turners to find a bone of sufficient diameter to make these sets. So what they did, they made these in lots and lots of different bits and pieces, so they could get them where necessary from the side wall of the, and that does come off. I can't get that unscrewed at the moment, but so you've got this little cross, little truncated cross I mentioned before. This cut from the side wall. This piece here is one, that's another. This section from the side wall. And this, you're looking for a really thick section of side wall to make this base. They would have been using bones from, these might have been made from the smaller food animals. These were certainly made from the larger beasts, horse, cows, oxen and so on. You simply wouldn't get the bone size. This, it's hard to say, again, they're constrained by the thing. So you see this all comes off to bits, this is all made separately, all screwed together. These guys could whip a screw thread on in absolutely no time. They were probably working on a price, and then we can put it back together, and we have the complete set of 6 bone sets, all German made, all 19th century, all originally designed much earlier, apart from these two of course, 1849. That's it, thank you.